Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Today on the SEC ESPN Network, it's day 3 of the young collegiate baseball season and the conclusion of Military Appreciation Weekend in Baton Rouge as the Air Force Falcons meet the LSU Tigers. We bring you inside beautiful Alex Box Stadium, Skip Bertman Field. With former Major League Baseball #1 draft pick Ben McDonald, I'm Len Rollins. Ben, it took everything LSU had to overcome an Army team yesterday for a late-inning victory, and 2 freshmen contributed for the Tigers.
Yeah, that #1 recruiting class in the country showed up big time for LSU yesterday. And getting it started was Landon Marceau. He made his first collegiate start. He did not disappoint. Goes 5 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run. Only walked 3 and struck out 5. Showed you a good breaking ball at times as well. And then Cade Beloso, the Louisiana High School Gatorade Player of the Year, did not disappoint either yesterday. He goes 2 for 4. And how about this? Bottom of the 9th inning, a 3-run walk-off home run for the freshman.
So a big victory for the LSU Tigers, who are looking to win their 3rd straight game to open this season. The 2 head coaches have a long and very respectful relationship.
Yeah, Mike Kozlowski over at Air Force Academy in his 9th season. He actually played for Paul Maneri, and he passed Paul Maneri up last year, become the 2nd all-time winningest coach in Air Force history. They returned a veteran club, a team that hit .310 last year, one of the best offensive clubs in the entire country. And I tell you what, leading them so far this year, the second baseman, Colby Brown. He's 3 for 6 on the season. He had an outstanding season last year as well, but he went 2 for 2 last night and drove in the only run as Air Force knocked off UL Monroe 1-0 in the nightcap.
Let's take a look at the mound opponents today. For Air Force, it's senior left-hander Ethan Nichols, and for the Tigers, Jaden Hill, the freshman right-hander, makes his LSU debut. Here's the lineup that Jaden Hill will face today for Air Force in front of another very big crowd. At the top is the center fielder Drew Wiss, third baseman Nick Reddy, left fielder Christian Gambale. Daniel Jones is the DH. Rob Daw is catching. Tommy Gilman is the shortstop. Gabe Martinez at first base. Ashton Easley is the right fielder. And Colby Brown is at second base. We've got another dandy day for baseball. Temperature in the mid-70s. There is an increasing chance of rain as evening approaches. But if the weatherman is accurate, Ben, I think we're going to be okay.
I think we're going to be good. 10% chance of rain most of the game, which I like those odds.
All eyes will be on Jaden Hill this afternoon. He's a young man that the Tigers hope can develop into a major starter over the course of this year.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they like him a lot, or he wouldn't be pitching on the weekend. He was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals in the 38th round out of high school last year. And he has a big arm. You've already seen 94 miles an hour on the radar gun. He's a big kid, too. 6'4", 220 pounds. Turned down about 10 Division I football scholarships. He was a heck of a quarterback over there in Ashdown, Arkansas.
Wiss is 0 for 7 in this 3-game tournament. And a ripper over the inside corner takes care of business. That was perfectly placed heat at 94 miles an hour.
Well, he only walked 12 guys an entire senior season in high school last year, and his control is what he has. Look, catcher sets around the inside corner, boom, 94, knocking some paint off that inside part of the plate.
That's almost an unhittable pitch.
It is, and it's perfectly placed. And with 2 strikes, you got to kind of protect against an off-speed pitch. And when you can throw 94 in on the hands, it is deadly.
Here's Nick Reddy. He's 1 for 7 in the tournament. And a bender slides wide.
And that's what you're going to see from Hill. Up to 94, maybe pushing 95 every now and then. The changeup is the best secondary pitch, but it's a much improving breaking ball that him and Alan Dunn have been working hard on. So he is a 3-pitch guy right now. And LSU really likes him a lot.
We've got bright sunshine early here as it has peeked through the clouds. And this is the warmest day of the young baseball season. A check swing and a foul ball, and everybody got a piece of that.
Yep. Batter, catcher, and the umpire might have taken it the worst right there. I'm talking about right off the face, Ray Gregson. Well, if Ray was sleeping a little bit, he's awake now. I promise you. This is the old triple threat. 1, 2, 3. Good gosh.
That's not the first time Gregson has been clocked. That's the old pineapple shot early, though. And a high strike there.
Yep, that's the first changeup. So fastball's 92, 94, changeup right there, 79 miles an hour. That's a really good difference there.
How about Nick Reddy from a year ago? 20 home runs, 74 driven in.
Look, this team can hit. 310 they hit last year. They returned 5 everyday players into this lineup.
Mathis will have to make the play at first base, and he does.
Air Force offensively one of those teams that just, top 15 in the country in pretty much every offensive category.
Let's look at LSU defensively. Daniel Cabrera, Zach Watson, and Antoine Duplantis in the outfield. Drew Bianco at first base. Brant Broussard next to him. Josh Smith, the shortstop. Hal Hughes at third base. Jaden Hill and Brock Mathis form the battery. Here's Gambale. He checks his swing. That one hits the outside edge.
Well, you're always worried about a young man making his first collegiate start. A lot of pressure on him, lots expected out of Jaden Hill this year, but boy, he has been spot on so far here in the top of the first inning. Opportunity to punch out the side.
That's a little bit elevated. Gambale has been at the plate 6 times in the tournament. He is 0 for 6. Another play will have to be made at the plate, and the tag is in time. So Jaden Hill strikes out number 1, number 2, and number 3 in the order for Air Force. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. We go to the bottom of the first. Air Force nothing, LSU coming to the plate.
We need to do a better job reaching our customers. Let's brainstorm. New guy, what you got?
Well, we could call Cox Media. Their digital and television advertising can reach our customers through niche targeting.
Not bad, new guy, but it's niche, not niche.
No, it's niche. The C is silent.
But you don't fit into a niche, you fit into a niche.
I fit into a niche.
No, I'm pretty sure it's niche. It's got to be niche.
Whether
right?
it's niche or niche, Cox Media can reach your next customer. Anyone, anywhere, on any screen.
Kick off the new year with a new iPhone included from T-Mobile. The amazing iPhone XR is perfect for all those New Year, New You selfies. And only T-Mobile has unlimited with iPhone XR included for just $40. So get the iPhone you love most from the most loved in wireless. Bring your family to T-Mobile and get the amazing iPhone XR included for just $40 per line.
We're not famous. We're just a small Georgia town of complete unknowns. Because we are not known for who we are, we hope to be known for what we do. No, we are not famous. But we are incredible, and we make incredible things.
LSU lines it up this way in the bottom of the first inning. Shortstop Josh Smith, second baseman Brant Broussard, right fielder Antoine Duplantis, left fielder Daniel Cabrera, center fielder Zach Watson, Drew Bianco at first base, Saul Garza the designated hitter, the catcher is Brock Mathis, and batting ninth is the third baseman Hal Hughes. They'll take their cuts against Ethan Nichols.
Yeah, Ethan Nichols, 6'3", 215-pound left-hander from Highland Village, Texas. In his senior season career, 5-10. Last year, you see the numbers, 0-3 with a 5.34 ERA. Had a few starts and a few relief appearances last year.
Nichols is hoping his senior season will be his best. He's had a high ERA during his career and given up many more hits than innings. And teams are batting over 300 against him in his career. Gambale, Wiss, and Easley in the outfield. Reddy, Gilman, Brown, and Martinez on the infield. Nichols and Daw form the Air Force battery. Josh Smith leading it off. It's likely he'll become a fixture in the #1 spot in the order.
Yeah, he just brings that leadership, that patience. You know, you got to have a patient hitter to lead off. You want that guy to work the pitcher.
Smith is 4 for 8 over the weekend.
You know, so much about college baseball, and really for hitters, it's sharing information. So the leadoff guy's up there to see some pitches if he can. Come back and share information to the other hitters, maybe about the break of the breaking ball, what he sees, how he sees the ball come out of the hand. Ethan Nichols, fastball is going to be a mid-80s type fastball, breaking ball and a changeup.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Ethan Nichols. A pretty good bender, but it slid away from the plate.
Really good breaking ball. Got ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. You don't need to throw a strike, and he just kind of oozed that off the outside corner. But again, we talk about patience, and Josh Smith saw it well, laid off of it.
Now the 2-2. Smith hits it up the middle. Backhand play by the second baseman, but not in time to get Josh Smith. He's got his 5th hit of the weekend. The second baseman, Colby Brown, did all he could, but that was a base hit on the infield.
Yeah, it was. And Colby Brown did everything he could to get to it. He gets to it in time, I think, but when he tried to transfer it, he jumps. Watch him jump right there. The ball got hung up in his glove. From glove to throwing hand, he just couldn't get anything on it. And Josh Smith gets it started for LSU right away with an infield single.
Smith has scored 4 runs in the first couple of games. He and his teammate at the plate, Brant Broussard, lead in that category. Broussard is 3 for 6.
Well, this is how head coach Paul Maneri hopes a lot of these games start off for them this year, is that Josh Smith gets on. You get Brant Broussard at the plate, who can really run, but he's an excellent bunter. He's a good hit and run guy. Broussard does not swing and miss very often. See the 260 batting average. He was actually LSU's best hitter last year. Was hitting about 360 when he got hurt, got hit by a pitch, missed a lot of the season, and just wasn't the same when he came back.
Broussard drops the bunt. This will be a very difficult play. Safe on a close play at first base. Broussard bunts his way aboard. Rob Daw, the catcher, really made an outstanding play, but Broussard was able to beat the throw.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Brant. He does so many good things besides play defense, and he doesn't swing and miss a lot, but right there, doesn't show bunt to the last second. That's not a sacrifice bunt. It's more of a drag bunt, and I mean perfectly placed and easily beats it out. Down the line, LSU something smoking here in the first inning.
Smith and Broussard aboard for Duplantis. Antoine is 2 for 8. Those hits came on Friday night in the opener, including a grand slam home run. His other base hit was a home run as well.
Yeah, not like Antoine Duplantis, but LSU certainly needed all those home runs in the opening night as Duplantis drove in 5, including his 2nd career grand slam.
If I would have told you before the season or on opening day that the first 2 hits by Duplantis this year would have been in the stands, would you have believed me at all?
I would have bet you everything I had that wasn't going to happen, and I would have lost. You all know about Antoine Duplantis, 4-year starter here at LSU, and he's chasing history this year. Comes in behind Eddie Furness, who's got the most hits in SEC history. Antoine Duplantis began the year just 85 hits away from breaking that record. Oh, that's a good pitch. Could have been called and wasn't.
You know, that's easy to say, rolling off the tongue, the most hits in SEC history, and we've been saying it for about 9 months now, the potential for that to happen. But my goodness, when you look back at the history of the Southeastern Conference and all of the great players, and you're looking at a guy at the plate right now who could be at the #1 spot at the end of the year in all-time base hits in the SEC, and very likely will be all-time at LSU as well, of course. What a statement.
No, that's a mouthful. You know, and you talk about consistency. You said it the other day. Look, he's averaged 90 hits a season since stepping on campus. He had 89 freshman year, 90 sophomore year, 89 again last season.
Let's take a look at those two big swings on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, Duplantis is not a big guy, but he can run into one every now and then. He's got a nice short stroke, and I tell you what, when he puts a barrel on the ball, jumps. Both of those balls you mentioned, those weren't cheapies either. I'm talking about well into the right field seats, and that last one, that grand slam, was way out.
That's his second grand slam of his career. He only hit 2 home runs last year. Both of those Duplantis home runs were pushing 400 feet. Smith at second base after an infield single and a bunt base hit by Broussard. Duplantis with another patient at bat loads the bases for Daniel Cabrera. Air Force was beaten soundly by Army 17-2 earlier in the tournament, and then shut out ULM 1-0. Daniel Cabrera coming off a 2 home run performance on Friday night. We'll take a look in the rearview mirror at his home run swings in just a moment. Let's take a look right now.
Yeah, he was impressive. Got 3 hits in opening night. Gets a line drive base hit there in the bottom of the first inning and drives in 2 right away. And then how about this blast? It quickly gets out of the ballpark, and then to finish it off, how about an opposite field home run by Daniel Cabrera, and what a start he got off to.
Cabrera flicks a foul. 2 hits in the inning for the Tigers, although neither one of them left the infield. Nichols misses upstairs. 2 balls and a strike to Daniel Cabrera.
Yeah, you see the numbers last season, 315, 8 and 54, and a lot of those numbers came the second half of the season. Very average the first half of the season. Took him a while to kind of adapt, but boy, when he got it going in the second half of the season, he was probably one of the top 5 hitters in the entire country.
Even on the slower than expected start by Cabrera last year, you could see the potential at the plate.
Oh, yeah.
He was making contact and maybe a quarter of an inch or so away from the contact point he wanted. And then all of a sudden, that swing started getting the ball a bit more flush.
Well, there was no doubt. The professional teams thought a lot about him, too, because he was drafted really high, turned in a lot of money to come to LSU. So somebody liked him, too, and it showed up the second half of the season. You know, sometimes it just takes a while. He really struggled against left-handed pitching early in the year last year. But when the light bulb went on, it got awfully bright the second half of the season.
And he wound up with a very respectable average against left-handed pitchers. It wasn't as good as his numbers against right-handers. This will be out of play up in the right field bleachers. But Cabrera, after not doing very well against left-handed pitching early, wound up batting .282 against left-handers.
Yeah, oh no, that was very respectable, because I'm telling you, he was right around 100.
And then .331 against right-handers last year. Three balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. The bases are full of Tigers.
You can just tell the way he carries himself this year. You know, went off and played for Team USA this past summer, performed well. And look, when you go against the best amateur players in the world, you compare your skills to those, the confidence level goes up when you had success. And he had a lot of success for Team USA this past summer.
Cabrera draws a bases-loaded walk, and the Tigers, who have not had a ball out of the infield in this inning, lead 1-0.
Yeah, not the start for Ethan Nichols. It began with an infield single. Brant Broussard gets another infield single on a drag bunt. And of course, back-to-back walks. Bases loaded, 1-0 LSU. There's the tail of the tail right there. 20 pitches, 11 balls, only 9 strikes.
The bases are loaded for Zach Watson. Ben, I want to mention something at the ballpark this year, which I think is terrific on the part of LSU baseball. And that is the award-winning game program this year for all fans is free. Every game.
Yeah.
There's a free LSU baseball program. It's not just the roster. It's got the history of the program, player features, all kinds of interesting information. Absolutely free to every fan, every game this year.
I love that. You know, it's LSU's way of saying thank you. I mean, LSU has led the nation in attendance now, 23 consecutive years? Why not a free program every now and then?
Zach Watson waiting for the pitch from Ethan Nichols. He's first pitch swinging. This will be difficult to handle, and it's off the bottom of the wall. Broussard scores. Duplantis scores. Cabrera is held up at third base. A 2-run double to the bottom of the right field wall off the bat of Zach Watson, and here come the Tigers in the first.
Well, good to see Zach Watson. Most people feel like he is the key to this offense. Really showed up 2 years ago, the second half of the season as a freshman for LSU. Last year, a little bit of a disappointment for him, but he takes a ball in the outside part of the plate. I mean, hits a rocket opposite field off the wall right here. You see Brant Broussard come across. There's Antoine Duplantis pushed across, and Zach Watson Cadillac double. Tigers up 3-0.
Drew Bianco, the son of Ben McDonald's battery mate, back in the late 80s at LSU, at the plate right now. I'll bet you could have never imagined when you and Mike Bianco were teammates at LSU that someday you would be broadcasting a game on something that wasn't even invented yet, the internet, so to speak. And, you know, here you are. Next generation of Biancos.
Don't make me feel old, Lynn.
I'm not. Although I do know you turned the clock on 51 this year.
No, I tell you what, Drew Bianco's wired a lot like his dad. I mean, it's wide open. It's a big motor. It's not backing down from anything, and this kid's going to do some special things here at LSU before it's said and done.
That's a good pitch on the outside corner, and Bianco is caught looking.
Yeah, just a perfect pitcher's pitch. The catcher, watch him rock to the outside corner. Ball just maybe a ball off the outside corner. Drew Bianco didn't think it was a strike, but a lot of times you get those calls in college baseball. If the glove's there, even though it's a ball or two off, sometimes you're going to get that call.
As a batter, you just hate it, though, when you think it's off the plate, especially with runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs.
And especially when you know the strike zone really well as a hitter.
Here's Saul Garza, the DH.
Garza comes to LSU, junior college transfer. Hit 23 home runs last year in junior college. Projected to be the #1 catcher for LSU, but had some knee troubles, had a knee operation. He's just DHing right now, they say, for probably another 3 weeks. If everything goes well, then you may see him every day behind the plate.
Garza is 1 for 5 on the weekend.
Yeah, he's trying to get his feet wet. A different environment for him. He's a big kid. You can see 6'3", 225. Not used to playing in front of 11 or 12,000 people every game.
Well, unless you're at the major league level, nobody is.
That's right. And that's the pitch that's kind of given him some trouble so far this weekend. It's been the off-speed pitch, the breaking ball. He's struggled at times with the breaking ball.
Garza has a chance to plate a couple here with a base hit. He struck out once and walked once on this young campaign, as Cabrera and Watson are aboard in scoring position. Brock Mathis is on deck. Still only 1 out. Nichols is not making it easy on himself.
Yeah, the fastball's been okay, but he just really hadn't been able to establish either one of his off-speed pitches. He's tried the breaking ball a couple times. That was the changeup there, but he's the kind of guy that has to have all three working because he's not a power guy, only 84 to 86 miles an hour, so he's got to rely on spotting it up and getting those off-speed pitches over.
Garza slams one into right field, and that is off the warning track. This will plate a couple. Garza digging for second, and he stands right there. Saul Garza drives in his first and second runs of his LSU career.
Yeah, love the approach by Saul Garza right here. 2-strike count. He's down in the count a little bit. He kind of sits back. He recognizes the ball, and I mean hits it hard the other way, just like Zach Watson did, staying inside the baseball, hitting it where it's pitched. And both of these guys showing you some pop as they drive it all opposite field off the wall.
So a 2-run double by Watson and a 2-run double by Garza. $5-0 LSU. Here's Brock Mathis with an RBI opportunity. He's first pitch swinging. This is sent pretty deep to right, and it's out of the reach of the right fielder. Ashton easily could not come down with it. Garza digging for the plate, and he'll make it without a throw. It looked like Easley was going to get back and catch it. That sun is very difficult out there right now. I'm not sure that made a difference, but he could not complete the play.
Yeah, I don't think he saw it very well. And plus, this ball is hit harder than he thought it was as well. And that sun is tough as well as it kind of sliced back over his head as Garza comes home with LSU's 6th run here in the bottom of the first inning.
And that's the 3rd double of the inning for LSU. Hughes bounces it to the shortstop, and he's thrown out. That 2-base hit by Mathis was his first extra base hit as a Tiger, and it drove in his first LSU run.
Yeah, good to see him get going. Good to see Garza hit one hard and get going, the bottom part of the lineup. And LSU, if they're going to get back to Omaha, it's going to be because it's a complete lineup. It's good, and we think it's going to be good at the top. The question is, Garza, Mathis, Hughes, those are the ones at the bottom that's going to have a pretty good year for LSU.
Here's the top again, and Josh Smith, the 10th Tiger, to come to the plate in the first inning. 6-0 Tigers. Smith reached on an infield hit in the first. That's out of the reach of the second baseman, Brown. Here's the throw to the plate. Save! Mathis was able to get to the backside of home plate and elude the tag of catcher Rob Dahl.
Well, I tell you what, easily the right fielder might have messed up a little bit on that ball before that. Maybe he could have caught it, but he showed you a cannon from the outfield right here. What a perfect throw it was. Smith gets a ball out over the plate. He lines it out to Easy. Watch this. Comes up and watch this throw. You won't see many better throws than that. I mean, just a rocket, one hop all the way in. But what a slide by Mathis. Does he get back door or not? Boy, that's awfully close.
And we may have a replay here to determine if indeed Mathis got in safely. This is reviewable.
Yes. That's
it
what
appeared the ball was at the plate before Mathis was able to get there, but did Mathis get around the tag and get to the back point of the plate?
Well, Dahl, the catcher from Air Force, does a nice job kind of, you're not supposed to block it now, but he does a nice job kind of getting in the way and forcing Mathis to slide towards the back of home plate, almost the third base dugout side. And that's exactly what Mathis did. The only question is the left hand of Mathis get in before Dahl applied the tag?
So right now the run is on the scoreboard, but this is under review.
I think the hand gets in first. You'll see. Well, it's hard for me to tell because home plate umpired on the view right there. Ray Gregson's a little bit in the way, so it's hard to tell. Nice job of getting in the way of the plate by Dahl. You see where he is.
But look at Gregson's sight line there. He was in perfect position to make that call.
But I tell you, it happens so fast. mean, we're looking at it in slow motion, kind of hard for us to tell.
Meanwhile, LSU has exploded for a comfortable lead in the first. Let's check some other SEC scores. Florida defeated Long Beach State 3-1. The Gators are 3-0 on the year. Texas A&M also has won for the third straight day, 3-1 over Fordham. Tennessee is 3-0 after shutting out Appalachian State 3-0. TCU beat Vanderbilt 10-2. North Florida 4, Missouri 2. That's a final. And South Carolina nipped Liberty 3-2.
This might be our best view right here. I think he's safe. I think he's in there.
So the call is upheld. And it's 7-0 LSU, an RBI single for Smith. That play was certainly worthy of a review.
Absolutely. I mean, one heck of a throw by Easley, the outfielder for Air Force.
LSU with 6 hits, 7 runs, couple of walks in the inning. And a strike to Broussard over the outside part of the plate. Brandt had a bunt base hit earlier in this inning. LSU had a come-from-behind victory over ULM on Friday, and the same with ninth-inning heroics from Cade Beloso yesterday. Today, a bit more comfortable early for the Tigers.
Yes.
And Broussard